Which one of these is most likely to be negative punishment? A, the teacher unplugged their computer and the computer died. The teacher unplugs their computer less in the future. B, the learner kicks the table and hurts their toe. They kick the table less often in the future. C, the basketball captain missed a free throw in the first half and the team lost the game. The captain tries to miss free throws less in the future. Or D, the parent picks up their coffee with wet hands and drops it on the ground. They use a different coffee cup next time. A is our correct answer. Third, when we remove a stimulus that decreases the frequency of a behavior. So when we're talking about the learner kicking the table and hurting their toe, the pain is the thing that's added after they kick the table. So hurting their toe is added to the equation. The pain that they feel is something added. So this is going to be positive punishment. For the basketball captain who misses the free throw, trying to miss free throws less in the future is not data that supports reinforcement or punishment. Remember, reinforcement and punishment have only occurred if we have data that shows an increase for reinforcement or a decrease for punishment. And so if we don't have that, if it's just us trying to do something different, that isn't actual reinforcement or punishment, or at least it's not data that supports that. And then for D, the parent picks up their coffee with wet hands and drops it on the ground. They use a different coffee cup next time. Eh, so their coffee is removed directly after the response of picking up their coffee with wet hands. So the response is picking up the coffee with wet hands. Their coffee is removed because now it's all over the ground. So this is negative, but the issue here is the punishment. So they use a different coffee cup next time, which means we could potentially say that we've decreased their use of a coffee cup, but that wasn't the response that we were referencing. The response that we were referencing is the parent picking up their coffee with wet hands. So if we said they didn't pick up their coffee with wet hands in the future, then this potentially could be negative punishment because we've seen a decrease in the picking up of the coffee with wet hands. And there was a removal of the coffee upon picking it up with wet hands. And so we would probably say that that's negative punishment. But because they just used a different coffee cup, that has nothing to do with the response that occurred just before it. So that doesn't show us data of that removal. So again, we have to have data of that decrease. So we have to have removal of a stimulus that decreases the frequency of a behavior. So the example of our computer is, we want to use the computer. So our establishing operations are wanting to use it. The SD is there's a low battery warning. So it's letting us know that punishment is available by the computer turning off. The response is unplugging our computer. And then our stimulus that follows is that our computer died. So it's a stimulus that is functioning as a punisher because we unplug the computer less in the future. So we're seeing a future decrease in that behavior and something is removed. The ability to use the computer is removed. And so this becomes negative punishment.